Hi, it's the end of June, so I know other people are doing their mid-year freakouts, but I'm not. The end of March, I did a look back at my first quarter's reading. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking back at my second quarter's reading, what I read in April, May and June. And what I read in those months, I read 41 books. And what was it? I read a lot from the Women's Prize long list and short list. I read 17 arcs. I read A Birthday Gift, and I read some from the International Booker list as well, including the winner. So that was what my 41 books over the last 3 months were. And out of that 41 books, I only had 4 5-star books, which is slightly disappointing, really. I'd have hoped for a higher percentage. 4 5 stars, but I had one that was so close to being a 5-star. There's just a slight little thing that made it a 4.99999. But so the highlights of my quarter, my 3 months, the 4 5 stars that I looked at. One of them was Salt Lick by Lulu, Allison, and this was on the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. It didn't make the short list, sadly. I'd have loved it to. And it was set in a Britain not too far away from where we are now, actually. Sea levels have risen. There have been a couple of pandemics, and the countryside is abandoned. Everybody has gone into the cities because sea levels have risen. The countryside is just not feasible to live in anymore. And everything is in cities. We don't produce food anymore. Britain doesn't produce food anymore. Everything is brought in. There's no self-sufficiency, everything has gone. Life lives in the cities. But you do have little resilient groups of people who refuse to go into the cities and are sort of like living off the land as best they can. You have got beautiful lyrical descriptions of the land in here, of the countryside, of nature reclaiming. It's beautiful descriptions in here. And you've also got a Greek chorus of cows, feral cows that are roaming the countryside. And they, as in Greek tragedies, and you have the chorus making a comment. These cows make comments above, and I thought that was a brilliant touch. You focused on 2 people, Jesse and Isolde. Jesse is a boy in the countryside. His parents are one of these groups who are trying to survive in the countryside, but eventually they have to go into the city. And Isolde is someone in the city, and they interact in a way that you just don't imagine. And I loved it. I thought that was a super book, and I wished it would have made it onto the long list. The second one of my 5 stars was Tell Me About It by Sacha Naspini, and that came out in June. I had it as an arc, and this was a very short book. It was translated from the Italian, and it was so quirky. It was so full of humour, and it's the story of Neves, who's a lady whose husband died, and she almost replaces him with a chicken because she gets lonely in the house. She's brought her favourite chicken into the house as company, and her chicken goes off in it gets paralysed. It just goes off into a sort of paralytic state sort of thing. And so she phones the vet, and the whole book is this conversation with this vet, the man she has known for years, and they reminisce, and it is so funny and poignant and just a wonderful book. The next one was a Gayle, Museum of Ordinary People, And this was the story of, I can't remember her name, let me find it. And this was the story of, bear with me, Jess, another Jess, who's clearing her house of her mother's things after her mother's death, and she's finding things that she doesn't want to part with. And she finds this museum of ordinary people. This man had made it his almost life's work to take the things that held special meaning for people that they didn't want to put to the tip once their loved ones died, to know that it was safe and secure and they could go to it whenever they wanted to. And she wants to make this museum a proper museum that people can visit. And this is her story. The story of wanting to do something for ordinary people, not a museum that's full of treasures and artifacts, but a museum full of Grandad's favourite chair or mother's pen or things like that. She wanted a museum for ordinary people, and it is such a poignant book, and I adored it. The next one was a real, another really offbeat one, and it's Isaac and the Egg, that comes out in September. Oh, I forgot to say, Museum of Ordinary People comes out in July. Isaac and the Egg by Bobby Palmer, it's a debut novel that comes out in August. And this is so quirky, so unique. You laugh and you cry. Oh, it is just, you don't know whether you're laughing or crying, you don't know, your tissues are there wiping up tears of joy and tears of sorrow. It's about grief, it's about loss, it's about love, it's about hope, it's about joy. And Isaac's wife has died, and we start with him standing on a bridge and just screaming into the darkness, and then he hears a scream come back at him, and he finds an egg. But it's not just an ordinary egg, it's a special egg. And he takes his egg home, and they start to communicate. I told you it was quirky. It really is. It's comic, it's sad, it's heartbreaking. And beans on toast, you've got to read a bit about beans on toast, because you will never look at beans on toast again in the same way. Isaac needs healing. And there is this book, it's leading to an ending, but you don't realise what the ending is until you get there. And when you get to the ending, oh, the tears. An absolutely wonderful book, absolutely. And my last one, I will talk about it because it was so close to being a 5-star, and it was Ithaca by Clare North that comes out in September, and it's a Greek retelling of the story of Penelope. It's the first in a trilogy, and it's told from the perspective of Hera, the god, queen of the gods. And Penelope's a really strong character. We get to know her, we get to know the slaves, and there is so much going on in that book, and it is really good retelling, and I can't wait for the others to come out. So I've got to pick a book of the quarter. So my book of of April, May, June, my favourite book of those 3 months, it's got to be Isaac and the Egg, because it was such a roller coaster of emotions. It was heartbreaking and joyful at the same time, and so quirky, so imaginative and creative. I absolutely adored it. And that comes out in August, so if you get a chance to pick it up, do. So those were my books of April, May, June. So we'll see what the third quarter of the year brings. So happy reading. Take care. Bye.